On the flip side, let's talk about Nordstrom shoe trees and or those generic two-prong shoe trees that extend at the toe with the little narrow heel. Are those good? The answer is no. Those are not good. These spring-loaded with the head that splits into two, which often has these sharp edges. These are often made in cedar. Cedar's everybody's favorite in America because salesmen have been telling us this for years, and we are so easily gullible to whatever the salesman says. These cheaper made shoe trees with the hard defined edge at the bottom of the head on the pronged shoe tree with the narrow heel, when you stick those in your shoes, now these are made to fit like 2 to 3 sizes. So in a smaller shoe, for example, you're putting in something that is fitting 2 sizes larger. So when you insert that cheap shoe tree into your smaller shoe, that spring wants to, elongate, so to speak. It wants to adjust to the, natural state, which is the larger size, really. And that means it's trying to get to that point. So when you stick them into your small shoes, you have this narrow heel, which is not filling your heel cup. Now, the worst ones are when they're squared. If they're rounded, it's slightly better. But if they're squared, you have this narrow square piece of wood extending and pushing onto your heel counter. And then you have this head with the 2 prongs with the edges here pushing out onto the sides of your leather. Now, I have seen firsthand witness, I've sold Nordstrom shoe trees for years. I worked there for 5 years, something like that. And I've seen them literally deform shoes and cause creases in the sides of the vamp. So you have this defined line that doesn't go away in the side of the leather because of those hard shoe tree edges from the pressure that this cheap spring-loaded shoe tree is putting into your shoes. If you're wearing cheap shoes, does it matter? Probably not. But it makes no logical sense to invest in a $400 to $500 shoes and then go cheap out on the shoe tree. Come on, guys. Spend a little bit. Your good shoes are investments. If you treat them well, they'll last you. You'll gain a lot better life out of them. It makes no sense to have a cheap accessory to go to a nice shoe. Unless that cheap accessory, is a travel plastic shoe tree that has a decent shape and really, you got so many shoes, you're not wearing them frequently. They don't really need constant kind of good shoe trees. Then, there are exceptions, but not only are these ones cheap, but they actually harm your shoes, and that's the worst of it. I've seen these cheap spring-loaded shoes deform the shape of shoes. So, spend little now, get further consequences later.